Today's podcast is brought to you by Harbor. That's HRBOR. Harbor is Hampton Roads LGBTQ plus Chamber of Commerce. Their mission is to empower and support LGBTQ plus and allied members, businesses, and professionals, and provide the Hampton Roads community an inclusive and welcoming environment to live, work, and grow. You can learn more at harbor.org. Our guest today is Marco Myers with the Norfolk Admirals. Welcome to the show, Marco.
Hi, Joey. Thanks for having me on.
Great. Well, I'm sure everybody knows, but why don't you tell us about the Admirals? Who are you guys?
Yeah, so a lot of people have heard of us, but we are a professional hockey team right here in downtown Norfolk. We play out of the Norfolk Scope. So we're entering our 33rd year of play beginning October 22nd. Really excited. We have a lot of new things going on here. New local ownership has took over in the last 2.5 years. New management. We have some really exciting partnerships we have planned for the upcoming year. So overall, the theme is excitement. We're just ready to get back at it.
Nice. October. What was that? October what?
22nd.
22nd. Oh, I'm excited. I've missed going to Admirals games. Yeah. It's been a while for me.
Been a few years, I think, for me. Yeah. How long does the season go for, Marco?
Well, we'll play 36 home games from October through April. And then when we make the playoffs this year, we'll go into May a little bit.
How's the record been lately?
Of the team?
Yes.
Right. So our previous year, we played in 1920. We had brand new management, brand new coaching. Came in a little bit later that summer than we anticipated. So it was difficult to get to the party as far as recruiting went. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have the greatest year, the year that we had hoped, our previous year that we had played. But a lot of new guys are on the team. I want to say there might only be one or two returning players from the previous team. So our general manager, Ryan McGinnis, our head coach, Rod Taylor, has really done a deep dive into what kind of players we're looking for, what identity we want our team to have, how we're going to play. And have really done a great job of just recruiting some new talent.
That's awesome. So who are you guys affiliated with?
Right. So big news. We just signed about a month ago at the Carolina Hurricanes of the NHL.
Nice.
So we were looking for an affiliate for a couple of years. In the past, we'd been with Tampa Bay is a big one. A lot of our fans know the Anaheim Ducks, Chicago Blackhawks. We were really looking for a good partner, someone to help us not only on the hockey side, but the business and community side as well. Mm-hmm. And so we feel like the Hurricanes are going to be an awesome asset to us. We're going to also try and be a resource to them and try and gain some of our hockey fans in this community to become Hurricanes fans. Really looking forward to them getting a couple of prospects from some of their draft picks and from their scouting team, and also a chance for our staff to do some cross training with the big boys up in the NHL. So it should be pretty fun. We just signed that about a month ago. So we got some giveaways going out online. People are really excited. We've got some people from Raleigh area that are huge Hurricanes fans have bought group tickets and stuff to come see the Admirals so they can come check out where their prospects are going to be playing. Mm-hmm. So far, it's been fantastic.
And you sort of explain a little bit, because I'm like a novice in this whole affiliation thing with any sport. No, not coming from here. So you've sort of explained. So it's like a two-way street if you're affiliated with another like NHL sort of team. Is that right?
You don't have that for rugby, Kylie?
I don't know.
Right,
they possibly do, but I don't. They don't have like college stuff and like lower level. Like it's just very different.
No, for sure. So very similar to baseball. There's kind of a tiered system in the pro ranks. So obviously the NHL is the top spot, if you will. The best players are up there. It's the best hockey league in the world. So we're a developmental league. We do play in the East Coast Hockey League, the ECHL. So we're 2 steps below them. So we'll be working with both the Hurricanes at the NHL level and their affiliate, the Chicago Wolves of the AHL. So the big thing that occurs with that is we're a developmental team for their prospects. Of course, the NHL, any sport like Major League Baseball, they have a huge draft pool of prospects. They're always recruiting players. They want to have some sort of control over how those players develop as they come along from, youth athletes to college athletes, to junior to professional. So really going to serve as the developmental arm for the Carolina Hurricanes for some of their prospects.
That sounds awesome. I mean, and also great for the Norfolk Admirals to offer that to the people that you have, that they've got this progression, this career, chances of moving up into these, bigger leagues. I think
Right.
it's such a
Right.
draw card
Absolutely.
too.
So with that signing, with that affiliation, that does allow for our guys, if and when they do develop those skills, they can go up to the AHL club in Chicago and then the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds great.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So you touched on it a little bit when you were talking about when you became affiliated with the Hurricanes. But so you're talking, what kind of community stuff are they going to be able to help you with? And what kind of stuff are you guys doing in the community?
Right. So that's going to be huge. Not every affiliation in hockey or in baseball is geographically wouldn't say makes sense, but it's very unique that Raleigh, the Hurricanes, are only 3 hours away. So if you're looking at a map of professional hockey in the United States on the East Coast, in our area, you'll have the Washington Capitals in Washington. You got the Hurricanes in Raleigh. And then right in the middle, you have a massive market called Hampton Roads with about 2 million people in it, and a hockey team in the Norfolk Admirals. So while we're not a traditional hockey market, we do have a lot of fans here, a lot of transplant fans from the military. And so they're going to provide a lot of resources to us to help us boost the game, build the game of hockey in Hampton Roads. And when those folks become Admirals fans, hopefully they become Hurricanes fans as well. So they'll be down here helping us with some events, providing some resources, helping us get back out in the community. Of course, being in the NHL, they have some very large established partners that we'll be, I'm sure, working with as well to try and promote our brand. And you mentioned community a second ago. That's all we do here. Work with nonprofits. Myself, I'm very heavily involved in youth sports and education. We have another staff member here that works a lot with military groups, charities, Warrior for Life, Wounded Warrior Project, and we have other groups that work with like cancer recovery and outreach and awareness. American Cancer Society, Relay for Life. So that's a big part of what we do here for sure is getting out in the community, because the community is not only is that our fan base, but I mean, we're all in this together. We're a part of the community and so are they. So any way that we can help the folks here, that's what we're going to try and do.
So,
Yeah. I went to, was last week. I have a son who's 9 and his buddies just come in a military family into the area, and he plays ice hockey. He wants to start playing. So he's been learning how to do it. And we went to this rink in Chesapeake.
Yes.
For the life of me, I can't remember what it's called. Chilling something. I don't know.
Phil Ponds.
Phil Ponds. That's what it was called. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed there's like 2 rinks. One looks like they like professional players and stuff, like practicing or something on it. Then the other one was for the rest of us who really aren't very good at all. So is that also affiliated somehow with you guys?
Yep. So that's actually pretty interesting. So our owner, to back way up, Patrick Cavanaugh, purchased the team about 2.5 years ago. I want to say the summer of 2019. So he started off playing with the Admirals as a teenager. A 19-year-old kid is when he first came to Hampton Roads in the early 90s.
That was Patrick?
Yes, Patrick. And his playing career took him, a variety of different places like most do. But he really fell in love with this area. So towards the end of his playing career, he decided to bring his hockey camp to Hampton Roads. Then at the time, it was called Arc Ice Arena or Arc Ice Sports. Entering bankruptcy, not doing very well. And he was able to take over that rink, rebranded as Chill Ponds. And he's owned that facility for, I want to say, 15 to 20 years now.
Oh, okay.
So that was actually his first business here. After playing here, he started a business here. He raised his family here. So he had Chill Ponds for several years, grassroots youth hockey, started what's referred to as junior hockey, which is very similar to a college level of play, but is not directly affiliated with college. So these are 18 to 20-year-olds, many of whom have just played, youth sports, your under U16, your under 18 teams, and they're kind of in a transition period before college. So you might have seen the Hampton Roads Whalers logos all over that place.
Yeah, and those guys in suits, like young sort of guys, like
yeah. So that's the junior team. That's the Hampton Roads Whalers, and most of those kids are trying to go on to college to some extent, most likely D3 or D2. And then if they do really well there might be an opportunity for them to attend Admirals camp in a couple of years. So I know that's a long answer, but yes, our owner does own Chill Ponds. That was his first business there. So we do have that unique opportunity as well that, he also owns a youth facility nearby.
Yeah, that's great to have that connection.
So we jumped off to a start with this interview. I want to backtrack a little bit. What do you do for the Admirals?
Yeah, no, for sure. So I'm in group sales. I'm a group sales account executive, and I'm also the in-arena host. So my job as group sales executive is to try and fill the arena. I do that through group sales. So typically it's reaching out to communities or populations that might not typically attend an Admirals game. And one thing that I've done when I came in, I started the school spirit night program, which isn't in itself anything incredibly brand new, but for years when you attend an Admirals game or a Tides game, you may have noticed that instead of having a Christina Aguilera or Chris Stapleton sing the national anthem, you may have 100 elementary school kids or middle school kids. And that's a group sale. So what we do with that most times is we'll approach a school, ask them if they'd like to host a spirit night with the Norfolk Admirals. And typically what that is a non-official field trip for them, where they can all come out, the students, friends, families, neighbors, get discounted tickets to the game. They can socialize and hang out outside of the classroom, have a bunch of fun and scream and yell and do stuff they can't do. Typically, the chorus students or music students can sing the national anthem. And a lot of times we build in a fundraiser to it. So everyone that buys a ticket to come watch ABC Elementary School perform, a kickback will go into that too. So a lot of times the school will raise $1,000. They'll bring out 200 or 300 people, have a great time. The kids sing the anthem. They got pictures for a lifetime. So that's something that I've tried to do, both to reach out to the community, give kids an opportunity to do something cool. But on our end too, we got a lot of seats to fill. We didn't play last season. We don't have at our level the luxury of large radio and TV contracts. So a lot of our revenue comes from getting butts in the seats, if you will.
Yeah,
that's very cool. Part of what I do here. And then as in-arena host, that's probably the smallest part of my job, but maybe the most fun. That's where I get to run around on game day with the microphone. I'll MC our intermission promotions, and then I'll interview a player or a coach right after the period.
That's awesome. That's a lot of fun. Do you do the announcing scores and stuff, or do you have somebody else for that?
We do have an in-arena PA announcer that does all the statistical announcing. I'm more like the promotional guy running around with the microphone. Your trivia, your musical chairs, anything taking place on the ice during intermission, or when we win, I'll interview the first star of the game afterward. That's pretty fun.
Nice.
Do you guys have a mascot?
Yeah, so we got Salty the dog.
Salty the dog. Has that always been the mascot?
That's kind of a funny story, really. He was initially when we first started playing in the late 80s, early 90s. And then at some point, and I don't know all the details, but I believe the team did some sort of rebranding. And I think Salty actually went away for a few years and we got a new mascot. He was called Hat Trick at the time. He was still a dog and had like a big sailor costume on with a big hat. And then a few years later, something happened with another project or that rebranding, and Salty came back into the fold. And this is several years ago, but then we had two mascots for a while. Hat Trick decided to retire. So he's at home right now sipping a bubbly. But we got Salty Dog. He's back, and he'll be back this year again. So he's fired up too.
So okay, so you guys have been around 33 years, you said?
Yes.
Yes, and multiple different owners and affiliations with that. Did the team name always stay the same?
We've always been the Admirals here. When we first started, we were the Hampton Roads Admirals.
Okay.
And I want to say we played out of the Hampton Coliseum for a period of time.
What happened? Go on.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not really sure when it happened that we relocated to Norfolk Scope and became the Norfolk Admirals.
So what about the logo? I remember it was a ship, right? The cannons?
Yes.
What happened to that?
Right. So a couple of years ago, I wouldn't say we necessarily rebranded, but if you could see the jersey behind me, there's kind of a yellow circle with an anchor in it and 5 stars. So that was the original logo for the Admirals.
Oh, okay.
Way back when. And as time went on, depending on who we were affiliated with, the big thing with that battleship logo, that's when we were with the Chicago Blackhawks. So our colors were black and red at that time. Also, I want to say during that period is when the Wisconsin at Nauticus first came in. So that was a huge deal. And that kind of tied hand in hand with us going for the battleship. But in the late 2010s, I want to say maybe 2017, we signed a brief affiliation with the Nashville Predators. Their colors are dark blue and gold, similar to ours were back in the day. So we kind of readopted our previous logo, our classic logo, modernized it a little bit. And so we started off as blue and gold back in the 90s, and we're blue and gold again.
Nice.
So your logo and colors and everything sort of changes depending on who you're affiliated with?
They can. Typically, it's the next level up in the AHL is where you would change your colors to kind of go along with the parent club. But we've had such an established tradition here of blue and gold and the Admirals. We're going to maintain that.
Nice.
Okay.
So how do you guys keep track of your historical records? I know with different owners and anything, do you still claim everything that's happened in the past? Or how do you guys manage all that?
As far as just like recording or?
Well, like if I'm maybe wrong, but I feel like the Admirals, it was maybe like several years back, but they were like had some insane winning streak.
Yes.
And do you guys still like claim credit to that?
Oh yeah, we do.
Okay.
Oh, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean that's and a couple of folks that are still in the front office, because you got to remember sometimes the front office folks hang out a little longer than the team, the players do. So a couple of those folks are still here. They did go on to do a couple other things for a period of time, but when Patrick acquired the team, they had been some folks that were really rocks around the organization for a while. So he kind of brought them back in for their experience.
Nice.
But absolutely, even this past year with the NHL, the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup again. And I want to say 5 or 6 of those players were on that 2012 championship team.
That team was
including
crazy.
the head coach. So yeah, we still keep track of those guys. We still pump them up. One of the fun things we're actually doing this season, it's the 10-year anniversary of that year.
Oh, yeah.
So on, I want to say January 22nd, we're going to do a 10-year anniversary night, and we're actually going to wear those old school jerseys with the battleship on it.
Oh, cool. I might have to go to that. I went to one of those games in 2012 during that streak. That was cool to watch.
Yeah, they were insane. That team had a lot of confidence. And, I remember being there on a Wednesday night and the arena was sold out. And, I think we were down 3-1 and the team stayed confident. They stayed playing hard. They never changed up their style, and they ended up winning the game. And they were just a really, really well-organized bunch of guys.
That's awesome.
For sure.
Gosh. So there is quite a lot of history, but just, I mean, when did you start, did you say? How long have you been there?
Right. So I came in August of 2018.
Okay.
So I got,
this yourself.
Yeah. So I came in. Yeah. I've only been here for about 3 years. I actually started off as an intern. Pretty interesting story. I can't go into all the details, but I was an intern for the fall semester of 2018. I was able to earn myself a position here on staff. My first day on the job, I want to say it was January 21st of 2020, which happened to be the same day that at the time that the ownership decided that they were going to sell the club.
Oh, wow.
Laid off about half of the staff, including myself, on my first day. And so I went into part-time land and just kind of did the best I can, added value where I could to the team, just kept working hard, knowing that another owner was going to come on board and they'd need some staff. So the 6 months there at the end of that season was a little funky there. Wasn't really sure exactly what was going to happen. But Patrick came on, decided to rehire me. Thank goodness. And my first actual season as an Admirals employee was 2020, which again was another interesting year.
There you go.
So unfortunately, we couldn't play out the last 5 home games on our schedule. So I've been here for 3 years and I've yet to go through a full season as a full-time employee. But this upcoming year,
Marco, you sound a little bit like bad luck around.
I don't know. The whole time I've been here, we've been on the upper rise. So I think
Oh,
I
that's a
might,
good point.
might
There
be
you
good
go.
luck. Just haven't fully hit the stride yet.
There we go.
So have you always been a fan of hockey, or is this something that was new to you as well?
Yeah, so it is kind of special to me to be in this position. I am from Hampton Roads. I was born and raised in Chesapeake. My father's from Detroit, so he was born and raised a diehard Red Wings fan. He came down here in the mid '80s through the military and has been here ever since. So me growing up, he would bring me to Admirals games. I've been in this arena since before I knew what was even going on out there. Like literally, people stand up and scream, and I just stand up and scream too. And seeing things like we do a promotion called Chuck a Puck. It's something real simple, but every second intermission, fans will throw these little rubber pucks onto the ice that we sell. The one that gets closest to the center is like the big winner for the game. So I always remember that. And now, like, I'm the guy that goes to center ice and picks the puck up and reads the number. So it's little things like that that are special to me. I also remember being a kid leaving a game one time and just really quick in passing, an older gentleman just walked by me, extended his hand out. And he had a puck, which is pretty cool because around here, kids have baseballs in their garage, footballs, but not a lot of hockey pucks.
Yeah.
I remember just him handing that to me. He didn't say nothing. He just gave it to me in passing. And that was so cool. And I still have that puck. So I remember when I first came on, when a puck came over the glass, I'd, slide it in my pocket and I'd walk around after the game and just see a kid walking towards me and passing. I wouldn't say nothing, but just kind of take a puck out and hand it to him. And I don't know, it's just pretty cool to me. It just feels good. I do have a lot of pride in being here. I have a lot of aspirations for where I would like to go. But yeah, it's very special to me to hold this position for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So if you're, say, a small business or even a mid-sized business, how can the Admirals and the game help you as a business?
Right. Yep. So we've gone away from your traditional old school business partnerships where we'll slap your logo on a wall and, call it a day. So we've gone towards like really investing in creating very creative custom partnerships for each and every partner that we have, each and every business. So we like to get creative. We like to take a deep dive into what are the goals of the business? Where are you guys trying to go? What are your challenges? And then we'll go back and look at, how can the Admirals help with that? And it's not always the same for every business. So right now, another retail alliance partner is Fresh Dogs over in MacArthur Center, MacArthur Mall.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been talking, and Lakira is awesome. She started off as a hot dog cart, is now in a physical location, is trying to do some franchising. And I'm not sure how familiar you are with them, but they have some really cool branding. Her son is kind of the mascot, Fresh Frank. So we're trying to get creative with that, and how can we include their coloring contest into our kids club, and how can we get Fresh Frank out here so the fans can see him? Something really unique that we're doing, and this is on a little bit larger scale with Why Not Pizza. But on January 8th, we're going to do a complete rebrand night. And what I mean by that is for one night, for one game, the Admirals will not exist, and we're going to be called the Virginia Slices.
The Virginia Slices.
So
Yeah,
we're going to have
a mascot.
all new branding, all new uniforms. We're going to have our logo is going to be different. It's going to be a slice of pizza with holding a hockey stick. All new merchandise. So that's a really big over the top thing that we're doing with them.
Yeah.
But we also work with a lot of nonprofits on like no cost trades, things that just involve maybe a ticket swap and getting some folks from our members, our season ticket holders out to their venue, and maybe some of their customers, some of their supporters out to our venue. So there's a lot of different creative things. We also have a way with season tickets to where with a very basic investment and one or two tickets, businesses are able to turn that into sales. And what I mean by that is, I'm sure as you guys are aware, the best business deals are done from the best relationships. The relationships take a lot of time to build, a lot of energy, usually through consistent and constant contact. And an Admirals game is a great way to do that. A lot of times with what we throw into the game, how we pump up our partners, they're a lot more memorable than, say a business lunch and eating a chicken sandwich or, going on a golf outing. So we try and do things here that are over the top for our partners, so they can, utilize their tickets or their suite to bring people in and help them close deals. Whether it be a prospect that they're trying to close a deal with, a current client that they're trying to, show appreciation for and build that relationship, or employees, and the corporate, I guess, climate or what's the word I'm looking for? Culture is so huge right now. And after a lot of periods of time where businesses, and their staff couldn't get together, folks maybe been in and out, transferring jobs. That's something that we've really found as a need is companies are really trying to reestablish their culture and their identity. In a lot of cases, maybe it's changed because of things that have happened the last couple of years. So we try and leverage, our brand and our fans to try and help the community accomplish whatever it may be: fundraising, driving traffic to their venue, promoting awareness on a cause, you name it.
So because our audience is primarily business owners, who do they get in contact with if they want to do something with the Admirals or try to set something up?
Yeah, you can get in touch with me. All
right. How do they reach you?
Yeah, so I believe my contact info is on here, but you can send me an email at mmyers@norfolkadmirals.com. That's just mmyers@norfolkadmirals. You can also call me direct, 757-227-3039. Or you can just call the office and ask for Marco. That might be the easiest thing to do.
There we go. Well, we are running out of time. Kylie, any last questions you want to ask?
No, I didn't realize that we've already reached our time.
I know. I can talk on this for a while. This was fun.
Yeah.
I liked all the history. Awesome. There's some questions I wanted to ask about the Admirals, and I got some answers.
Heck yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Maybe do one of these again sometime. I don't know, but
sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Marco, for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Joey. Thanks, Kylie.
Yeah, thanks, Marco. We'll see you at the next game.
All right, I'll see you there.
All right, bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
All right, you've been listening to the Retail Is podcast. If you've enjoyed what you heard today, you can find more at retailalliance.com/retail-is-podcast or search YouTube for Retail Alliance. I'm Joey Morgan.
And I'm Kylie Ross-Sybert.
Thanks for listening.